Disneyland Paris can cost so much money to go these days, and it can be really easy to waste your time there and waste your money. So let's talk about those time wasters and how they can really spoil your holiday. When you have invested a lot into your Disneyland Paris holiday, you expect a lot in return. You want to ride all the rides, eat all that gorgeous Disney food or Mickey-shaped food, watch the incredible shows, and maybe chill for a little while. So how you manage your time in the parks will either allow you to see, eat and do all you want to do, or just some of it. Now, some of these things can seem like real small things, but when added up, can add up to huge chunks of time. Losing your car in an extremely full car park is no fun when it's pouring with rain or it's really hot and sunny, or if your car is refusing to play Find Me with the car alarm. This only feels worse after a really long day in the park and you're all hot or really cold, super tired and cranky, so you will most likely be stirring up a dangerous recipe that can lead to swear words, hurt feelings and precious time slipping through your fingers. So here are your tips. You will have your phone on you because you can't go to Disneyland Paris without your phone. So download a Find Me car app and allow the app to navigate you back to your car. When you've parked and when you get out the car, make sure you take a couple of landmark photos. So particular parking signs that are close to you, the character of the section that you're parked in, but not a parked car next to you, because when you return to your car, that car might not be there. Visual cues are happy cues. Don't just leave it to the driver to remember where they've parked the car. Maybe turn it into a fun game for you and the rest of your group. Each section in the Disneyland car park has a different character. So why not get everyone involved and sing songs from that particular film? Do impressions of that particular character, or test your general knowledge and have questions based on that film. All of this will make it easier for you to remember which character section you're parked in. Disney rides are one of the main draws to Disneyland Paris. Have you got a favourite ride at Disneyland Paris? Or have you got your eye on a particular ride that you definitely want to ride when you get there? But what do you do when you're waiting in line for said ride and the ride goes down? Do you wait it out and hope that they can fix the problem quickly? Or do you jump ship and then waste time trying to decide what to do next? It happens to all of us, so it's a good idea to have a game plan in place. If you've just hopped in line and 10 minutes into your wait, the ride goes down, listen to what the cast members have to say. It may be vague, but it is near on impossible to promise guests exactly how long the ride will be good to go again. But it will give you a rough idea of the severity of the problem and the delay ahead. In some cases, it could just be a short pause, but in others, cast members could be spilling information about how long the ride is going to be down. And if you want to step out of line at that point, go ahead. If you do hear this kind of information from a cast member, it probably is a good idea to hop out of line. If you have already waited a good amount of time for a ride and the ride goes down, and the thought of having to leave that queue to then re-queue again later fills you with dread, maybe just settle in and wait it out. Play some games on your phone or have a snack, just to help pass the time. Plus, you may start to see the queue moving again. But there may be some cases where you have to admit defeat and need to jump ship. Just return later on in the day when the ride is back up and running, or the following day if you can. The next one is a huge time consumer. Don't wait for a ride that usually has a really low wait time. For me personally, as much as I love Le Carrousel de Lancelot, I will not wait more than 20 minutes. Yes, it's one of the classic rides and it's so beautiful to look at and gives you all those Disney feels, and not to mention those Insta-worthy photos. But if I end up waiting longer than 20 minutes, I get off feeling like I could have used that time better elsewhere on a different ride or meeting a character, instead of going round in a circle about 4 times. When I know during extra magic hour, it's a walk on, and the same later on in the day. Make good use of the Disneyland Paris app and keep an eye on those wait times to plan your time more effectively. If you haven't been to Disneyland Paris before and are not sure on how long is too long to wait for a certain ride, definitely download the Disneyland Paris app way ahead of your holiday and do some research. Have a look on the map showing the wait times at different points during the day and clock how long those wait times are, and also do it on different days of the week. It will give you a rough idea of what to expect when you get there and which rides to prioritise, either during extra magic hour if you have access or first thing when you get into the parks. This will catch almost all of you out, including me. The gift shops have a huge potential to put a massive dent in your time in the parks. Now, I know you need your Disney merch and I am right there with you, but please bear with me. As you walk down Main Street, there are shops on both sides to kill loads of time in to get that Disney merch. But remember, some people in your group might not be a shopper and may end up feeling like they've wasted so much time walking around the gift shops. It may be worth remembering that these shops on Main Street remain open for a little while after the fireworks, which is the perfect opportunity to go in and snag that piece of merch, and also means that you won't have to lug around a big carry bag all day. Another bonus to shopping later on in the day is when most people have exited from the park, those shops are going to be a lot quieter and more easier to move around. So wait for the mass exodus and then enter the shops. Or if it's pouring with rain, it's the perfect excuse to nip into the shops and get your merch. There's also the option of saving even more time and shopping on Shop Disney before or after you go. There are also external factors that you have no control over but threaten to disrupt your brilliant plans, but you need to be aware of. Be afraid of the dark clouds. This is something that you and your group need to be ready for, and that sketchy looking dark cloud in the distance is more than likely heading your way. And how you handle your time in the parks when it's pouring with rain will massively impact your time there. Firstly, make sure that you have an hour by hour weather app on your phone so you can track what the weather is doing, and this will help plan your day more effectively. If you have a heavy amount of rain heading your way in the next 30 minutes, don't bother hopping in line for an outdoor ride. Instead, head for those indoor rides, such as Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast, or Star Tours if you're in Discoveryland, Pirates of the Caribbean if you're in Adventureland, Phantom Manor if you're in Frontierland, Peter Pan's Flight, It's a Small World, or the Snow White ride if you're in Fantasyland. There's also the Ratatouille ride if you're in the Walt Disney Studios, or Spider-Man Web Slingers if you're in the Avengers campus. But don't worry if you still want more of a white knuckle ride and don't want to miss out on that thrill. There's Hyperspace Mountain in Discoveryland, Crusher's Coaster and the Tower of Terror in the Walt Disney Studios, and Avengers Flight Force if you're in the Avengers campus. So you'll be able to wait out a huge chunk of the rain while you're waiting in line for the ride and stay nice and dry. As I mentioned earlier, the rain is a really good opportunity to hop into the shops. And it's also a really good opportunity to grab a snack, sit down for something to eat, or if you're super organised and keeping an eye on your weather app, you could place a mobile order to go and collect as soon as the rain hits, so you'll be sat down in the nice and dry and your food will already be ready for you. And don't forget about Disneyland Paris's incredible shows. It's the perfect chance to sit down, relax, in the dry and watch some of that Disney magic come to life. Who knew that Disneyland Paris fireworks could cause so much stress, anxiety and FOMO? For some guests, they feel like they have to watch the fireworks or they just haven't experienced the full Disney experience. And that's totally understandable as they are pretty spectacular. But you don't have to waste precious park time by snagging that perfect spot right at the front where you think you're going to get all of the Disney feels. This will eat up a huge chunk of your time and, to be honest, gets pretty crowded with people standing in your personal bubble. People then holding their phones up to film the fireworks, which will then block some of your view, or even needing the toilet. Instead, use that precious time to get on more rides while everyone else is staking their perfect spot to watch the fireworks. Or even pop in some shops or grab a quick bite to eat even. The further back down Main Street you stand to watch the fireworks will still give you a beautiful view of those fireworks and the projections on the castle. And I've even seen people back down Main Street having an absolute blast, dancing around and having a really good time watching the fireworks, which you can't do if you're standing closer to the front because you're more squashed together. Yes, it's always worth watching the fireworks to experience it from the central hub at least once. But don't worry if you don't, you're not missing anything at all. Another plus to watching the fireworks further back down Main Street is when the mass exodus happens and everyone turns to leave the park at the same time, you'll be right at the front of that mass crowd. I hope these tips will help save you some time. So start planning or get there and have so much fun, but just keep these tips in the back of your mind. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again soon.